Hello, voices. Welcome back to the In My Voice podcast, where we explore the messiness of life with a little bit of laughter, love, and a whole lot of lessons. I am Bonaheri, and today we are talking about relationships. Be it friendships, family, or that confusing situationship you are still trying to define. How do we navigate these connections without losing our sanity? Well, we'll explore these delicate dances of attraction, the importance of modeling healthy behavior, and the crucial concept of reciprocity. Let's unpack it together.
Have you ever wanted to read a letter that was meant for someone else? Have you ever wanted to travel the world but didn't have the time or the money? If so, you are in the right place. Welcome to In My Voice, the podcast where we read letters and share travel stories about places by our guests. I am your host Bonaheri, and each week I'll guide you through these two different yet fascinating worlds. In the first segment, we'll read letters written to listeners like you about a variety of subjects, from heartwarming stories to heartbreaking experiences. These letters offer a unique perspective on the human experience. Some of them will make you laugh, while the others will bring a tear to your eye. But they all have one thing in common. They are written from the heart. In the second segment, we will embark on a journey to explore the world through travel stories. We'll visit exotic destinations, meet interesting people, and experience the joys and challenges of traveling. Whether you are a seasoned traveler or someone who's always dreamed of seeing the world, you will find something to inspire you in these stories. So, join me every week as we dive into these two fascinating worlds. In My Voice. I promise you won't be disappointed. Subscribe now and don't miss an episode.
I want you to imagine you're at this party and you spot someone across the room who catches your eye. You start to make your way towards them, taking a step forward, then pausing, gauging their response. Are they smiling back? Do they seem interested? It's a subtle dance, a delicate interplay of signals and reactions. This, my friends, perfectly mirrors the dynamics of any relationship. But what happens when the dance feels one-sided? You're putting in the effort, taking those steps forward, while the other person seems hesitant or even retreating. It's like trying to tango with someone who keeps stepping off the dance floor. Suddenly, the joy of connection fades, and most times replaced by frustration and confusion, because you do not know. These people are not giving you any signal of whether they are interested or not. They're just there. I don't know whether you've heard of the mantra, invest and then test. This is where it comes in. Imagine relationships as cooking a new recipe. You invest effort by gathering fresh ingredients, following the steps, preparing the dish. Then you test it to see if the flavors came together the way you wanted. If the recipe doesn't work, despite your best effort, you know it's time to tweak or try something else. Similarly, in relationships, you invest energy and then observe if there is growth and mutual effort. If nothing changes, it's a sign to reevaluate. You need to reassess and see whether it's fit for you to continue doing the same things that you've been doing or let go. I remember there was a time when I was trying to reconnect with an old friend. We had a minor disagreement. And after some time, I sent a heartfelt text expressing my desire to mend things and, catch up soon. But oops, no response. It felt like throwing a ball against a brick wall. That's when I realized sometimes the other person simply isn't ready to dance. And that's okay. When you notice a lack of response or effort, it's important to protect your energy. This doesn't mean cutting people off impulsively, but rather observing patterns. Are they consistently showing up for you? Do they reciprocate your energy? Or are you left carrying the weight of the relationship? So, how do you protect our mental health while navigating these intricate relationships? The answer lies in how we respond. And this is where the concept of mirroring and modeling come into play. Let's dig into these behaviors because how we engage makes all the difference. Mirroring is what happens when someone's disinterest or negativity triggers a similar response in us. If they are distant, we become distant. If they are critical, we become defensive. It's instinctual, but it's also a slippery slope. Mirroring creates a negative feedback loop that can damage relationships and take a toll on our mental health, often leading to stress, anxiety, and even depression. Because you are trying to become someone you are not because someone else is making you. Imagine you send someone a message, a text message, and they left you on read. After 3-4 days, they also send you a message and you decide to leave them on read. You see how this stress builds up and then eventually you get depressed. Modeling, on the other hand, is a proactive approach. It's about choosing to embody the behaviors you want to see in the relationship. Instead of mirroring negativity, you model healthy communication, respect, and kindness. Modeling says, "This is how I wish to be treated." It's a subtle yet powerful way to shift the dynamics. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're trying to have a conversation with someone, but they keep interrupting you. Instead of mirroring their behavior and raising your voice, you calmly and assertively say, "I would appreciate if you let me finish my thought." You are not mirroring their disrespect. You are modeling the respectful communication that you desire. By transitioning from mirroring to modeling, we protect our mental health and set a tone for healthier connections. Now, let's talk about reciprocity. Reciprocity at its core is the foundation of balanced and fulfilling relationships. It reflects the idea of mutual exchange, both giving and receiving effort, affection, and support. When aligned with the invest and test mantra, reciprocity becomes a gauge for the healthy and sustainability of your connections. If you are consistently initiating plans or offering emotional support, take a moment to observe, is your energy being met or reciprocated? If not, it's time to evaluate. How many times have you called this friend of yours, this family member, in the last week or the last month? How many times have they returned a call and just called to check on you? How many times have you initiated conversations on social media with your friend? And how many times have they tried to reach out doing the same? Here is what reciprocity is. Reciprocity is mutual respect, valuing each other's feelings, opinions, and boundaries. Consistent effort. Both parties actively contribute to the relationship. If I call to just check in today, next time you call to just check in. That's how it works. Emotional availability. Both of you have to be present and responsive to each other's needs. And then there is also showing appreciation. You need to express gratitude for each other's actions and presence. The small actions should not go unnoticed. And what reciprocity is not, keeping scores. Constantly turning who does what for whom. Expecting equal returns in every single interactions. No, sometimes it's impossible. Perhaps what I am going through may not allow me do the same thing you did for me when you did it for me. And using reciprocity as a weapon. I did this for you the other time, so you owe me. No. That is not reciprocity. And we shouldn't use it in that way. However, if you find yourself constantly initiating plans or offering support without being reciprocated, it's time to pause and observe. Does the other person notice your absence? Do they step up to meet you halfway? If not, it may be time to reassess. Here's the tough part though. When someone doesn't reciprocate, it can feel personal. It can leave you questioning your worth or replaying the situation endlessly, searching for answers. This emotional spiral can cloud your perspective, making it hard to recognize their response or lack of. And this often reflects their circumstances rather than your value. You might think, what's wrong with me? Why don't they care as much as I do? But their lack of effort says more about them than it does about you. Understanding this can help you approach this situation with more compassion and less personal blame. Instead of focusing on what you are not doing, focus on your own well-being and the kind of relationships that nourish you. Now, let's talk about the inevitable. Moving on from relationships that aren't serving us. It's not easy. It's a daunting task. It's very frustrating and seemingly impossible because you're invested in this relationship. You care about these people. But there's a few cheat codes that can make the process a little easier. First, step back and observe. Pay close attention to the energy within the relationship. Are you constantly chasing while the other person seems content to remain stagnant? Are you the only one putting in effort? If so, it may be time to step back and reassess. Second, set clear boundaries. Think of your energy like a precious resource. Don't let anyone drain it without reciprocation. Setting boundaries is not only essential for healthy relationships, but also for protecting your mental and emotional health. Third, find your people. You need to remember, you don't have to dance alone. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who celebrate your victories, and who are genuinely invested in your well-being. Sometimes we are so attached to people that we fail to see the other people around us that care about us. Finally, focus on yourself. Your worth is not determined by someone else's ability to recognize it. Prioritize self-care activities, whether it's a long walk in nature, going swimming, going to the gym, working out, or simply spending a time with a good book, or listening to a podcast like you are listening to me right now. Self-care is not selfish. It's essential for your mental and emotional resilience. I want you to think about relationships in your life, a friendship, a family bond, or a romantic partnership. How can you apply the concept of modeling to improve the connection? Are you mirroring negativity, or are you actively choosing to model the kind of interaction you deserve? How do your current relationships impact your mental health? Are they a source of stress and anxiety, or do they bring you joy and support? Remember, your mental health is just as important as your physical health. Prioritize it in all aspects of your life, including your relationships. Relationships are a delicate dance of give and take. Sometimes the music will be beautiful and the rhythm will be perfect. Other times, the melody will change and you'll realize it's time to step off the dance floor and find a new partner, or perhaps enjoy the freedom of dancing solo for a while. Friends, thank you for tuning into the In My Voice podcast. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend. Leave a review or connect with us on social media. After this episode, take a small step in one relationship. Invest, test, and observe the response. Remember, you are not alone in your journey to prioritize your mental health, so you can always seek support from friends, family, or a mental health professional if needed. Until next time, keep dancing to your own beat. My name is Bonaheri, and this is In My Voice.